Goes to the left wing, brings it back up on top to Blair George. George driving down the lane against Boyd, off the glass too hard. Rebound is battled for, coming away with it down low with Nodlin, and he put it up and in. Ryan Nodlin with the offensive board in the bucket, and Alexandria jumps out to a 2-0 lead. Here comes Gabe Dahl working on the point into the forecourt. He's watched by Helscher. To Carlson. Cross court for Sparby. 18-footer is long off the iron, and the rebound is cleared by the Cardinals. Here comes Alexandria on the run. Helscher stops at the line, now brings it forward. Nodlin to the baseline, and a blocking foul on Gabe Dahl. Nodlin went hard to the baseline. Gabe got over there, but not quite quick enough. And the first foul of the ball game is whistled against Gabe Dahl. That's his first, and the first on either team in the ball game. Nathan Helscher will inbound from the baseline for Alexandria. The Cardinals lead it early on here, 2-0. This is Nodlin with it outside the arc. Into the corner it goes to Helscher, and he'll dribble it back up on top. He's got it on the arc on the left side, bounces it down low to Wagner. Turnaround over Sparby is good. Paul Wagner's first 2 points, and Alexandria is off to a 4-0 lead. Now Gabe Dahl into the forecourt for the Spartans. Bounce pass right side Carlson to the baseline. Runner from 5 won't go. Rebound is batted up, battled for, and finally the 2 Cardinals who were fighting for it let it go, and Wagner comes away with it. Here's Helscher in the forecourt. Had it chipped away, but it went to Nodlin left wing. Cross-court pass for George. He dribbles into the circle, now backs it out, now back down the lane. Runner from 12 over traffic is good. 6 in a row for the Cardinals. They lead at 6-zip here with 6.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Now here's Dahl into the forecourt on the dribble. Bounce pass left side, chipped away from Carlson, out of bounds. Last touch by Alexandria. Good hustle on defense by the black-clad Cardinals. They've got their black home uniforms with the red trim. ROCORI with their new road uniforms. They've got the white jerseys, and then you remember the old striped pants from the 80s? Well, they're back, only in 90s style here in the road uniforms. This is Hondo. He has it on the left wing, leaves it up on top now for Dahl. Gabe dribbling between the circles, bounce pass right side Boyd. Mike has it outside the circle, starts it in, and a foul away from the ball is called on Ryan Nodlin as he was holding Kip Sparby. Now that'll be the first personal against Alexandria, and the Spartans will inbound from the baseline. 6-0 Alexandria. 6:16 remaining here first quarter. So will trigger the impound. It gets it into Boyd on the right side. Mike had 24 in the win over Melrose. Here's a 17-footer off the dribble, and it's good. Mike Boyd hits the jumper from the right side. First points for the Spartans. It's 6-2 with 6:04 remaining in the first quarter. Helscher lost the dribble right to Carlson. Here comes Mike back the other way to the lane, and he is fouled as he tried to go up by Helscher. So Helscher lost his own dribble right into Mike Carlson's hands. Mike did a good job of pushing the ball up the floor, and he drew the foul on Helscher. Helscher's first, second in the half on Alexandria, and Mike Carlson will be at the line to shoot 2. In the opener, the Spartans were 9 of 16 from the free throw line. Mike had 14 points in the first one, and Carlson hits his first free throw, and he's got one more coming. Second one is up and good, so the Spartans have scored 4 in a row, and it's 6-4 Alexandria just over 3 minutes into the ballgame. Dribbling into the forecourt now is George. He has it on the right side. Starts it across the lane, now kicks it left side for Nodlin. Nodlin drives to the baseline. Wraparound pass, kicked out of bounds, and it was last touched by the Spartans. I think Gabe Dahl got in there to break it up. And the ball will stay with Alexandria down low on the baseline. Emmett Keenan with you tonight on Oldies 94.9. Mike Dime is our producer. Inbound pass, Nodlin, left wing, driving down the lane, too hard off the window. Gabe Dahl cleared the rebound, and then he was fouled. Gabe, with a good, strong rebound, was hammered from behind, and the ball will go over to the Spartans. The foul is on Aaron Krauser. That's his first, and the 3rd and a half now on Alexandria already. And Gabe Dahl will bring the ball back up the court for the Spartans. He has it in the backcourt. Now stops, bounces it to forecourt where it's caught by Sparby. Kip has it between the circles. Lob down low for Hondo. Waits for the traffic, missed the shot, and the rebound is batted out far, and it's picked up by Alexandria. Krauser came away with it. Now Helscher to the forecourt, left side for George. George to the baseline, driving in, and he was fouled on the drive by Sparby, and that is Kip's first. First in the half on Sparby. Second in the half on the Spartans. And an inbound coming from the baseline as Helscher will handle the duties. He gets things started. Now we have a whistle, and we have a foul away from the ball on Alexandria before the inbound ever happened. It's going to go against Aaron Krauser. That's his second, and that is the fourth on Alexandria. They called him for setting an illegal screen, kind of holding on the screen away from the ball. Gabe Dahl working against pressure by Helsher in the backcourt, lobs it forecourt. It's tipped away, and the foul is going to go against Ryan Nodlin. Nodlin tipped it away from Sparby, and Nodlin's called for the foul. That is his second, and the fifth in the half now on Alexandria. So quickly, Alexandria in some sort of at least some foul difficulty here, already with 5 personals, and we're only now 3 minutes into the ball game. 4:55 remaining here in the first half, the first quarter, and Gabe Dahl just traveled. Gabe on the right wing picked up his dribble and dragged his foot. Now Chris Collins will check into the ball game, replacing Krauser, who will sit down with 2 personals. Collins is a 6-foot junior. Helsher inbounds in the backcourt for Nodlin. 4:50 remaining first quarter, 6-4 Alexandria on top. Nodlin to the forecourt, feeds it right wing for Collins. Jumper from the baseline from 17, rims out. Voigt got a hand on the rebound, couldn't control it, and Collins comes away with it. Feeds it on the left wing for Nodlin, up on top for Helsher. Dribbles to the top of the arc and hands it off for Nodlin. Nodlin, long three, is short off the iron. The rebound is cleared by George. He feeds in the lane for Helsher, and he laid it up and off. No good. Carlson got the rebound, and he was fouled by Wagner. Boy, a couple of missed opportunities for Alexandria. Then Mike Carlson with the good rebound, and he was fouled by Paul Wagner. That's Wagner's first and the 6th now on Alexandria. So from this point forward, the Spartans will go to the free throw line for the rest of the half. 4:26 remaining first quarter, 6-4 Alexandria on top. Here's Dahl dribbling in the backcourt, now across the line, bounces it left side where it's caught by Voigt. Mike driving through the lane, 14-footer on the run is good. Mike Voigt has 4 points, and we're tied at 6 as the Spartans have now scored 6 in a row over a span of about 2 minutes. Cutting it down the lane is Blair George, and he was fouled on the drive by Voigt. That is Voigt's first, the 3rd and a half on ROCORI, and an inbound coming from the baseline for the Cardinals. Helsher will trigger it in. Takes his time, feeds it in the corner now to Nodlin. Nodlin with Dahl out on him, picks up a screen, dribbles to the baseline, stops there, and triggers it up on top for Helsher. Helsher feeds it on the right wing, Nodlin. Three-pointer is long off the back iron. Rebound is picked up by Wagner, and he laid it up and in. Wagner with the backside rebound gets the bucket. He has 4 points, and Alexandria is back up on top, 8-6. Gabe Dahl again will work on the isolation in the backcourt with Helsher. Comes across the right side on the dribble. Feeds in the corner for Carlson. Mike on the floor, down the paint, runner from 5, won't go. It was too hard off the glass, and the rebound is cleared by Alexandria. Here's a lead pass ahead up the left side for George. He feeds it back up on top for Helsher, right side for Nodlin outside the arc. Nodlin driving through the paint, had the ball tipped away, lost it on the floor, battle for it there. Carlson came away with it for the Spartans. Nice hustle by Mike Carlson, and he leaves it for Sparby in the backcourt, who in turn leaves it for Gabe Dahl. Gabe feeds it high post for Voigt. Spin move, 14-footer, no good. Got his own rebound, left-handed layup is good. Mike Voigt followed his own shot and laid it up and in. He has 6 points, and we're tied at 8. 2:55 remaining here in the first quarter. Helsher driving it down the lane, kicks it out right side for Collins. Back up on top for Nodlin. Now back to Collins on the right wing with Handel on him. Drives it in, now kicks it out for Wagner further out for George. One dribble, 15-footer won't go, and the rebound is pulled down by Gabe Dahl. Here come the Spartans. Sparby into the forecourt. Sees the seam, down the lane, runner is short. Got his rebound in traffic, put back won't go, but he was fouled. Sparby missed the first one, got his own rebound, put it back up, it wouldn't fall, but he was fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line. Boy, end-to-end action here. A little bit sloppy as it is, as now Gabe Dahl and Dan Hondo will sit down for a rest, and Eric Boucher and Nate Willenbring will check into the lineup for the Spartans. Another new face in for Alexandria, try to pick up who that is. Kip's at the line, first free throw is good. Kip had 14 in the win over Melrose, that's his first point in this one. I believe that's Simon Lee who checked into the ballgame, but I'll have to double check here. Actually, Aaron Krauser came back in. My apologies. Both free throws good by Sparby, and the Spartans lead it now by a score of 10-6, their first lead of the ball game. And then we have a whistle and a foul back down the other way as the Spartans stole it away, and we have a foul coming up on Alexandria. And that's going to be on Krauser. I'm sorry, it's on Nodlin, and that's his third. And it is the 8.5 now on Alexandria. Nodlin has 3. Helsher has 1. Collins has 1. Krauser has 2. And at the line to shoot 1 plus the bonus will be Nate Willenbrink. Spartans are 4 of 4 from the line. That one is no good, and the rebound is cleared away by Wegner. Remember, we have the super bonus now. 2 shots after 10 fouls in high school basketball. Here's the feed down low. It was tipped away, and then a travel. Actually, Krauser stepped on the baseline, so a turnover on Alexandria, and the ball goes back over to ROCORI. The free throws by Sparby gave the Spartans their first lead at 10-8, and that's where we are now with 2:10 remaining first quarter. Willenbrink on the right side for Sparby, outside the arc. Kip holds it high above his head, puts it on the floor, cuts it through the lane, kicks it left side for Willenbrink. In the corner for Voigt. Looked at the 3, didn't take it. Now driving through the paint, shovel layup is short. Rebound is batted into the far corner, and it's picked up by Wegner. Alexandria will come back the other way. Up on top with it is George. Blair George dribbles between his legs outside the arc, feed the right side, and it's stolen away by Carlson, but he couldn't save it. Or did he get a timeout? Oh, he was trying to get a timeout while it was up in the air before he could save the ball, and they didn't give him the timeout. He came down out of bounds. Nice try by Mike Carlson, but the ball will stay with Alexandria. Inbound from the near sideline by George. Lobs it into the high post to Krauser. Now the kick out back to George on the right side with Boyd on him. Back up on top it goes for Collins. Collins cutting it down the lane. Runner from 12 is short off the iron, and the backside rebound is cleared by Mike Carlson. He's got at least 3 rebounds in this ball game already. Bounce pass right side, Boucher. 15-footer is good. Eric Boucher cans the J, and the Spartans, who trailed 6-0, now lead at 12-8. They're on a 12-2 run since the 6:04 mark of this quarter. Up on top with it now is George. Boyd is out on him quickly. George cutting down the lane. Runner off the glass is good, and he was fouled. Nice, strong move to the bucket by Blair George, and he'll have a shot at the 3-point play. See who the foul goes against? It's going to go against Eric Boucher. That is his first, 4th on the team. No Spartan has more than 1 here. Blair George with 4 points, chance to make it 5, and he could pull Alexandria back within 1. Free throw is up and good. So it's 12-11 now with 1:08 remaining here in the first quarter. Nate Willenbrink working up on top, playing on that little bit of a bad ankle that he turned right before the Melrose game. Voigt bounce pass right side. Sparby, long 3, rimmed in. It went in and out and back in again. Sparby hits the triple. He has 5 points. And ROCORI has matched their biggest lead at 15-11 with 45 seconds remaining in the quarter. On the right side with it now is Collins. Outside the arc, takes a couple of dribbles, leaves it back up on top for Helsher. Carlson is out on him. Helsher drives past him. 14-footer on the run is good. Nathan Helsher with the pull-up jumper makes it 15-13. Down to a half a minute remaining here in the first quarter. Mike Boyd operating up on top now. Feeds it left side for Sparby. Kip lobs it cross court for Willenbrink. Down to 20 seconds. Left side Carlson outside the arc. Mike just waits for somebody to come on him. Feeds it up on top for Boyd, and he was fouled by Krauser, who was trying to pick off the pass. And that is 3 on Aaron Krauser. So Krauser has 3 and Nodlin has 3, and Alexandria is in deep foul trouble. Not to mention that that's already, if I have my count right, actually that is their 9th of the half. I thought it was their 10th. John Weber will check into the ball game for the first time now, a 6'1" senior. As Krauser will sit down with 3 personals, and at the line to shoot 1 plus the bonus will be Mike Boyd. Mike was 6 points on the night, had 24 last game and didn't go to the free throw line, and he misses that one. Kip Sparby tried to keep the rebound alive, but he tapped it out of bounds. And the ball goes over to Alexandria with 15 seconds left in the quarter. Now some pressure in the backcourt by the Spartans. Helsher still in the backcourt, feeds it ahead now to Collins, down to 7 seconds on the clock. Collins cross court for George, looked at the 3, now he dumps it down low, and it's banked in by Weber with 1 second remaining. Weber with the final points of the first quarter, and Back to the action as we're underway here in the second quarter. Spartans with a basketball in a 15-all game. Mike Boyd on the left side. Bounces it up top for Sparby. His three rimmed out. Boucher got the rebound and then had the ball stripped away, and Alexandria comes away with it. Here come the Cardinals to the forecourt. Up on top with it is George. Feeds it on the left wing now to Chris Collins. Now back on the right side to Wagner. Back to Helscher on the left side outside the arc. Into the corner it goes to Collins. Up on top George. Fakes the three. Penetrated and then kicked it back out. Here's Collins crossing the arc. Now to Helscher. Outside to George. His three is short. Rebound is battled for on the floor. A hog pile, and they got it tied up. It'll go to Alexandria on the alternate possession. Prep basketball coming your way tonight on Oldies 94.9. KMXK, Cold Spring, Cloud. Mid-Minnesota's Oldies station. Mike Dime is our producer tonight. Emmett Keenan with you from Alexandria. Kip Sparby will take a rest now, as will Nate Willenbring, as Gabe Dahl and Dan Hondel check back into the ballgame for ROCORI. On the right side with it is Collins. Dumps it down low. Jumper off the glass too hard by Weber, and the rebound is cleared away by ROCORI. Gabe Dahl has it in the backcourt. 7 minutes remaining first half. 15-15 ballgame. On the left wing with it is Carlson. Cuts it down the lane on the run. He was fouled out in front on the drive, I believe, by Wagner. So Wagner picks up his second foul, and Simon Lee will check into the ball game for the first time. He will replace Wagner. Wagner has 2 personals. Krauser has 3, and Nodlin also has 3. Mike Boyd led all scorers with 6 points in the first quarter. Sparby had 5, and Blair George had 5 for Alexandria. The free throw by Carlson is no good. He'll get 1 more. The Spartans are in the super bonus now for the rest of the half. Now Mike Odland will check into the ball game, a 6'1" sophomore for Alexandria. Carlson's second free throw is good, so Mike has 3 points in the ball game, all on free throws, and the Spartans lead it by a score of 16-15. Helscher into the forecourt, leaves it up on top now for Collins. Collins starts it on the left side, kicks it back up on top for Helscher. Helscher between the circles, feeds it on the right side. With it is George. George dribbling on the arc, now cuts it down the lane, kicks it in the left corner, where it's caught by Collins. Collins drives the baseline, his wraparound pass down low for Lee. Lee missed the shot, got his own rebound, put it back up, and he was fouled. It wouldn't go, but he was fouled down low by Eric Boucher, and Simon Lee will be at the line to shoot 2. That's Eric's second. 5th and a half on the Spartans, and now Kip Sparby will check back in to replace Mike Carlson. 6:26 remaining first half. 16-15, ROCORI by 1. At the end of 1 quarter at Apollo tonight, Tech leads Apollo by a score of 14-2. 14-2 Tech at the end of 1. Free throw by Lee is up and good. And also ROCORI and Alexandria are playing girls basketball tonight in Cold Spring. And near the end of the first quarter, it's ROCORI 13, Alexandria 4. Second free throw by Lee is up, and that one rolls off, so we stay tied at 16, but the Cardinals come away with the rebound, and then they fired it into the backcourt, but it was saved by Helscher before it got there. On the left side, Collins' jumper from the baseline is long, and then a foul on the rebound underneath will go against Mark Odland. Odland pushed off down low to get the rebound. That'll be his first. Way over the limit. Weber comes back into the ballgame now for Alexandria. He'll replace Helscher, and we'll walk to the other end where Dan Honda will shoot 2. I also want to clear up a little bit of confusion we might have had about tomorrow's ballgame against New London Spicer at the Metrodome. We will not broadcast. I repeat, we will not broadcast that ballgame, as Hondo makes the first free throw to give the Spartans a lead back at 17-16. Our next Spartan broadcast will be on Tuesday evening when we do the Apollo game in Cold Spring. Second free throw by Hondo is good. Danny's first 2 points of the season, I believe. Yeah, he did not score, although he did play against Melrose. 18-16, ROCORI on top. 6:10 remaining here in the first half. George operating at the point. Feeds it on the left side for Collins. Back up on top for George. Right side for Lee. In the corner it goes now to Odland. Spartans have gone back into a 2-3 zone. Cutting down the lane with it on the run is George, and he threw it away. Tried to feed it down low, and he threw it out of bounds. And the ball will go over to the Spartans on the turnover. Spartans with a 2-point lead in the basketball with 5:50 remaining here in the first half. Dahl across the line on the dribble. Gabe dribbling it down the left side, feeds it down low for Sparby. His three-pointer from the corner is good. Kip hits his second tray of the ball game. He has 8 points, and the Spartans with their biggest lead now at 21-16. Now back to the other end, we have a whistle, and I believe Eric Boucher just picked up his third foul. Let's see. No, that one is going to go against Dan Hondo. That's his first, 6th in the half on ROCORI. Foul occurred on the drive, and so the ball will be inbounded from the baseline by Alexandria. After the inbound now, the Cardinals will get to go to the free throw line on the next foul. Up on top with it now is Weber. He feeds it on the left side for George. High post for Wagner. Now back on the right side for Weber. Up on top for George. Back to Weber. He'll launch a three, and it was blocked. Dollar Hondo blocked it, but the Cardinals came away with it. Into the high post. Jumper from there is good by Odlin. Odlin's first 2 points of the ball game, 21-18. Spartans quickly back to the forecourt. Boyd has it in the corner. Drives the baseline and lays it in. Saw the opening and took it to the hoop. Mike Boyd has 8 points. Back the other way come the Cardinals, 23-18 Spartans. Wagner got it down low, took it to the hoop, missed the shot, but he was fouled. Wagner fought through traffic, got it up off the rim. It wouldn't foul, but he was fouled by Boucher. That's Eric's third, and he will sit down now as checking back into the ball game is Mike Carlson. That is Carlson's, or rather the 7th personal of the ball game on ROCORI. And at the line to shoot 2 is Paul Wagner. Wagner's free throw is up and good. So Wagner has 5 points, and checking back into the ball game will be Nathan Helscher. 23-19. ROCORI on top. Spartans have led by as many as 5 at 21-16 and then 23-18. Second free throw is up, and that one won't go, and the rebound is battled for by Sparby. He couldn't control it, but went right to Mike Boyd. Boyd will bring it into the forecourt on the dribble. Now to Dahl. Dahl back up on top to Voigt. Now Sparby has it out between the circles. Kip driving it down. Runner from 10 is good. Kip Sparby fought through traffic and then hit the J on the run. And the Spartans lead it by 6 now, 25-19. Kip Sparby has 10 points in the ball game to lead all scorers. On the left side with it now is Helscher. Helscher drives it in. Runner from 15 won't go, and the rebound is cleared by Carlson. So the Spartans starting to pull away a bit here. They lead by 6, and they have the ball with 4:15 remaining in the first half. Sparby down the lane, put it up as he was falling, but they're going to call the travel. Bob Brink wanted a foul call as Kip Sparby went hard to the floor, but they called traveling on Kip. Referee Howie Kangas out of Perham, the man up on top making the traveling call. Our other official is Terry Knopf out of Wadena. 4:10 remaining in the half, 25-19, a 6-point lead for the Spartans. Now Alexandria in the forecourt. In the corner on the left side is George, cutting it down the lane, had it tipped away, and he was fouled by Sparby, and Kip knew it. Kip got him across the arm as he cut it across the lane. Second on Kip, 8th in the half on ROCORI. And at the line to shoot 1-1 will be Blair George. Simon Lee will check back into the ballgame, replacing Paul Wagner, who was playing with 2 personals. Remember that Ryan Nodland and Aaron Krauser are both on the bench with 3 personals here in the first half. Free throw by George is no good, and Boyd clears the rebound for the Spartans. Ahead to Sparby. Lob pass down low for Carlson. Mike catches it, kicks it out for Sparby. Long three is short. Boyd goes for the rebound, didn't get it, but there's a whistle and a foul underneath, I believe on Gabe Dahl. Gabe is going to be called for contact on the rebound. That is his second. And now he'll sit down with 2 personals, and Nate Willenbring will check back into the ballgame. And we'll walk to the other end where Nathan Helscher will be at the line to shoot 1 plus the bonus. 9th foul in the half on ROCORI. So from the next one on, it will be the super bonus for both teams with 3:50 remaining here in the half. ROCORI on top 25-19. Free throw is up and no good. Rebound battled for, though, pulled down by Weber. His shot was blocked by Sparby, and here come the Spartans. Carlson on George to the glass, lays it in. Mike Carlson with a good move on the break. Kind of lost the ball, but got it back and banked it home. He has 5 points, and the Spartans lead it by 8. Now back the other way. Blair George lost the ball, got it back, and laid it up and in. George has 7 points, 27-21, Spartans by 6. Boyd into the forecourt on the right side for ROCORI. Bounce pass out on top. Almost didn't get to Sparby, but he was able to grab it. Kip has it between the circles now, backing in on the dribble. Starts it down the lane. Runner from 12 is hard off the iron, and the rebound is cleared by Alexandria. They're 3-on-1. Here they come. Feet on the left side for Helscher, and his shot was blocked by Willenbrink. Here come the Spartans back the other way. Carlson, 19-footer, long off the glass, and the rebound is cleared by Hondo. The Spartans keep it alive. Oh, man, Carlson maybe shouldn't have taken that shot because he didn't have anybody underneath, but the Spartans got the rebound. Boyd has it on the left wing, cutting across the lane. Spin move, lays it up, it won't count, he traveled. He threw it up over his head as he was falling into the bucket from about 12 feet. It went in remarkably, but it won't count. Contact in the lane, they rule traveling on Mike Boyd. 2:45 remaining first half, 27-21 Spartans. And back into the forecourt comes Alexandria. Feed on the right wing now for Odland. Odland has it outside the arc, feeds it cross court where it's caught by George. Blair George feeds it high post to Weber. Almost got it tipped away by Carlson, but hangs on to it. Bounce pass in the corner, and we have a whistle and a lane violation on Alexandria. So the Cardinals, too long in the lane, turn it over. And the Spartans will rebound in the backcourt. Chris Collins comes back into the ballgame now for Alexandria, replacing John Weber. ROCORI leads it by 6, 27-21, 2:20 remaining in the first half. Been a wild one, fairly sloppy, but both teams have been going hard at it up and down. Boyd has it on the left wing, outside the arc for ROCORI. Found Sparby down low, and Kip banked it home. Sparby came open on the back door. Mike Boyd found him. Kip has a dozen, and the Spartans lead it again by 8 at 29-21. Up on top with it now is Helscher. Backing in on the dribble against the 2-3 zone. Kicks it outside the arc to George. George on Boyd, driving it in. Runner is short, and Boyd cleared the rebound, and then he was fouled by George. So Mike Boyd played good defense, was fouled by George, and appears like he came down hard on an ankle. He's going to get up and walk it off. He's okay. Foul is going to go against Simon Lee, not against Blair George. That is Lee's first. And that is 12 fouls in the half on Alexandria. Mike Carlson running off a little bit of a twist of the ankle. I think he's going to be okay. He runs into the backcourt, and now he'll come back up and shoot the free throws. Boyd with 8 points in the ballgame. Kip Sparby has a dozen for ROCORI, including a couple of triples. 1:51 remaining here in the first half. Free throw by Boyd is good. So Mike is 1 of 2 from the free throw line. And he's going to go, he's going to shoot the second free throw. If he makes it, Gabe Dahl will check in for him. Mike probably will spend the rest of the half on the bench resting that ankle. Second one is good. So Boyd will sit down with 10 points, let that ankle rest a little bit, and Gabe Dahl comes into the ballgame. 1:51 and a half, 31-21. The Spartans, who trailed 6-2 at one point, lead it now 31-21. Actually, Alexandria scored the first 6 points of the ballgame, led it 6-0 at one point. Now driving it down is Helscher on the right side, kicks it back up on top. On the right wing, it goes for George. George up on top for Lee. Lee lost his footing, was able to kick it to Odland. Now back up on top for Helscher. In the corner, it goes for Collins. Collins up on top for Helscher, 1:25 remaining in the half. Helscher drives it in, then backs it out and leaves it right side for Odland. Up on top, it comes now to George in traffic, kicks it out for Collins. Collins drives it down the left side, 12-footer on the run by the left, he won't go. Rebound batted out of bounds, last touch by ROCORI. Now Mike Boyd says he's okay, so he's going to check back into the ballgame, and he'll replace Mike Carlson. John Weber back in for Alexandria, replacing Simon Lee. Mike Carlson has played a nice floor game in the first half for the Spartans. He has 5 points, but he also has at least 5 rebounds. Here's the lob on the inbound outside the arc to George. He cuts it down the lane and kicks it out left side for Collins. Now right side for Odland. Back up on top for George. 22-footer is good for 3. Blair George with the first 3 of the half for Alexandria. He has 10 points. 31-24 ROCORI with under a minute to play here in the first half. Gabe Dahl, bounce pass right side, caught by Willenbrink outside the arc. Nate, one dribble, leaves it up on top now for Sparby. Operating between the circles, Kip on the dribble with 45 on the clock. Feeds it on the right side for Willenbrink. Nate lobs it high post for Danny Hondo. He leaves it further out for Mike Boyd, down to 35 seconds remaining in the half. See if the Spartans run it all the way down. Willenbrink on the right side, hands it off for Sparby up on top. Kip about 25 feet out, holds the ball high above his head, waits for everybody to break, now puts the ball on the floor and redirects the traffic. Kip still dribbling up on top, down to 20 seconds in the half. Feeds it on the right side for Dahl. In the corner for Willenbrink. Spartans start to move here with 15 on the clock. Mike Boyd has it up on top. Now right side for the shot, but he was fouled. Gabe Dahl got open on the back door. Couldn't hit the shot, but he was fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line with 9 seconds remaining in the first half. Foul is on Chris Collins, his second. And Gabe Dahl will be at the line to shoot 2 for the Spartans. 31-24, ROCORI by 7. Spartans have led by as many as 10. Free throw is up and good. Gabe's first point of the season. He'll get one more opportunity here. Second one is up. And that one rimmed out, and the rebound cleared away by Alexandria, then batted away by Hondel, and finally the Cardinals come away with it. Only 5 seconds on the clock now. Sparby stole it away to the rack at the buzzer, and good. Skip Sparby with the steal and the layup at the buzzer, and the Spartans, with both Krauser and Nodland playing with 3 personals. ROCORI starts with the ball, moving from left to right. On the left side with it now is Mike Carlson. Lobs it into the high post for Boyd. He let it bounce once, picked it up, feeds it in the corner now for Willenbrink. Nate cutting down the lane. Runner too hard, got his own rebound, missed the putback. Sparby got the board and put it up and in. Kip Sparby has 16 points, and he gets the Spartans going here right away in the second half. 36-24, ROCORI with their biggest lead at a dozen. Half a minute into the second half. Nodland has it on the left wing. Feeds it up on top now for Wagner. On the right side where it's caught by Helscher. High post it goes for George. Kick out on the left side now for Nodland. One dribble to the baseline, leaves it back on the left side for George. George dribbling it back up on top between the circles with Boyd on him. Feeds it on the left side for Nodland. Ryan looks inside, bounce pass down low, is stolen away by Sparby. It was intended for Wagner. Here's the feed ahead to Carlson. Mike to the rack, missed the shot, put back by Dahl, won't go. Rebound to Gabe again, and he put it up and in. 3 shots at it for the Spartans, and finally Gabe got it to go. He has 3 points, and it's a 14-point ROCORI lead. Now Helscher into the forecourt, had trouble, but picked it up. On the left side for Nodland. Spartans have really picked up the pace here in the last 8 minutes or so, and now Gabe Dahl is whistled for a foul on Nodland. Gabe's the first in the half on the Spartans, and a near side inbound coming now for Alexandria. George will trigger it in, and now a whistle, and we had a young man walking too close to the edge of the court that prompted the officials to stop play, and now they'll get it going again here. They hand the ball to George. He lobs it in to Krauser. Krauser kicks it back out for George on the left side. Looked at the 3, didn't take it. Feeds it down low for Krauser. He's double teamed. Kick out for George, and he traveled as he put it on the wood. George went to put it on the floor, shuffled his feet, and the ball goes over to the Spartans on the turnover. 6:40 remaining, third quarter, 38-24, ROCORI by 14. Sparby gets it to Gabe Dahl in the backcourt. Now back to Kip, who will run it from up on top. He's still in the backcourt on the dribble. Nodland meets him at the line. Now Kip double teamed as he comes forecourt, lobs it down low for Carlson. Reverse layup is good. Good look by Kip Sparby. Mike Carlson has 7, and the Spartans lead it by 16. They've scored the first 6 points here in the second half. Nodland double teamed on the baseline, kicks it up on top to George. Runner from 14 is short, and the rebound is cleared by Boyd. Here come the Spartans once again. Sparby running the floor up on top. Delays, now drives it down the paint, lays it up, short. Rebound Gabe Dahl, and he bounced it on the baseline. He bounced it out of bounds as he put it on the floor, and Alexandria needs a timeout. 6:07 remaining, third quarter. ROCORI 40, Alexandria 24. We're back after this on Oldies 94.9. Spartans scored the first 6 points of the half. Alexandria takes the timeout, and now they're back in the forecourt. Here's a bounce pass down low. It's tipped away, but coming away with it is Nodland. Nodland up on top with Dahl on him, picks up a screen, brings it to the left side. Boyd jumps out on him. So Boyd now is matched up on Nodland. Lob on the right side for Helscher. Helscher dribbling up on top, feeds it on the left wing for Nodland. He'll launch a long 3 and hit it from about 23 feet. Ryan Nodland with the triple. He has 5 points. First points of the half for Alexandria, 2.5 minutes into the second half. 40-27 ROCORI. Here comes Sparby to the forecourt. Picks up his dribble up on top. Feeds it to Boyd on the right wing. Mike cutting down the lane to the rack. Layup hard, no good. Rebound Willenbrink spins on the putback and missed the shot. And the rebound is cleared away by Wagner. Wagner crashing the boards hard to pull down the board. Here come the Cardinals back the other way. Nodland dumps it off for Krauser. He lost it. Wagner got it, put it up in short, and the rebound cleared by Dahl, and then Wagner swatted at him and fouled him. That is Wagner's first personal. My apologies, his third personal. First in the half on Alexandria. 5:03 remaining, third quarter, 40-27. ROCORI leads it by 13. They've led by as many as 16. Sparby backing into the forecourt on the dribble, feeds it left side for Carlson. Carlson, cross-court feed for Gabe Dahl in the right corner. Drives the baseline, shot is rejected by George. Here come the Cardinals back the other way. Feeding it up the left side for Nodland. To the baseline, layup is good. Alexandria has scored 5 in a row, 40-29, ROCORI by 11. 4.5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Spartans, Dahl in the backcourt, and he's bumped and fouled by Helscher. That is Helscher's second, and the second and a half on Alexandria. 4:32 remaining, third quarter. The Spartans will inbound just into the backcourt on the near side. Kip Sparby and referee Terry Knopf sharing a little bit of a laugh. Now we're set to go again as Kip triggers it into Willenbrink. Nate has it up on top between the circles. Right side for Carlson. Mike standing on the arc, goes to the baseline, and he's cut off there and fouled by Wagner, and that is 4 on him. Paul Wagner just picked up his 4th personal, and he'll have to sit down now, take a rest, as Chris Collins will come into the ballgame. 3.5 on Alexandria. The Cardinals got in foul trouble early in the first half and haven't been able to free themselves since. Sparby will inbound it from the baseline. Gets everybody moving as he slaps the ball, and he ran into a 5-second count. Boy, that was a quick 5 seconds. Kip was in trouble. May have been in trouble, out of trouble, but that was a quick 5-second call. 4:23 remaining. Alexandria with the ball in the backcourt here in the third quarter. 40-29, ROCORI by 11. Helscher up on top, feeds the left wing, tipped away by Sparby, and last touch by Kip. He thought it went off the hands of Collins out of bounds, but it will stay with Alexandria. Inbound from the near sideline. George triggers it into Nodland. Nodland with Dahl up on him, way out by the timeline. Now drives it down the left side to the rack, and he laid it in. Ryan Nodland has 7.5, 9 in the ball game, and the Spartans will take a timeout as Alexandria has scored 7 in a row. 4:06 remaining, third quarter. It's 40-31 ROCORI. Timeout on the floor. We're back after this on Oldies 94.9. Spartans off their timeout into the forecourt with an even 4 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Sparby triple teamed up on top, feeds the right side Carlson. Faked the 3, took one dribble, faked another 3, leaves it up on top for Sparby. Down low, Handel all alone, and he banks it in. Kip Sparby with a great feed down low to Dan Handel. Dan has 4, 42-31, ROCORI by 11. Nodland into the forecourt for Alexandria on the left wing, feeds it in the corner now. Back up on top it comes to George. His runner from 12 is good. Blair George off the dribble has a dozen. 42-33, ROCORI by 9 with 3:20 remaining in the third quarter. Sparby has it up on top between the circles for the Spartans. Leaves it on the right side now for Handel. Feed down low, Carlson. His shot is short off the rim. Got his own rebound and put it up and in. Mike Carlson flashing through, took the feed, missed the first one, but made the second one, and he has 9 points. 44-33, ROCORI. Nodland has it between the circles, up on top, lobs it down low to George, got Boyd off his feet, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul on Boyd, who got him with the body before the shot. George pump faked Mike Boyd off his feet, and before he could come back up, Mike Boyd hit him with the body on the way down. That's Boyd's second. Second and a half on the Spartans, and an inbound from the baseline coming for Alexandria. 2:59 remaining here in the third quarter. Spartans lead it by 11 at 44-33. Their biggest lead in the ball game was 16 when they opened the second half with 6 straight points. But then Alexandria came back with 7 in a row themselves. On the right side with it is Nodland. Bounces it up on top for George. Blair George between the circles now for the Cardinals. Feeds it on the right side where it's caught by Nodland outside the arc. Ryan Nodland dribbles it back up on top, now between his legs. Starts it down the lane. Bounce pass was off the knee of Boyd, out of bounds. So it will stay with Alexandria. Boyd had the middle blocked up, and the bounce pass deflected off his knee, out of bounds. Now we have a whistle. And there might be something on the floor. Looks like just a little string or something that the referee, Howie Kangas, kicks off the floor, and now we're set to go. George lobs it in, and it was tipped away by Sparby. Sparby stole it away from Krauser down low. Here come the Spartans. Kip has it up on top between the circles. Backing in on the dribble against Nodlin. Bounce pass left side, caught by Dahl outside the arc. Gabe lobs it cross court for Carlson. 17-footer is good. Mike Carlson has 11 points, 6 of them here in the third quarter. The Spartans are back up by 13 at 46-33. Well, they've stemmed the tide a bit. The little mini rush by Alexandria. Nodlin lobs it cross court where it's caught by Collins. Drives the baseline, cut off there by Voigt. Picked up his dribble now and feeds it back on the left wing for George. Down low, Krauser. His shot won't go, and the rebound is cleared by Hondel. Then he had it tipped away by Helscher out of bounds, and it will stay with ROCORI. A good, strong rebound by Dan Hondel. John Weber will check into the ball game now, and he'll replace Chris Collins for Alexandria. 2:01 remaining third quarter, and the Spartans lead it by 13. In the backcourt with it now is Kip Sparby. He's met right at the timeline by Nodlin. On the right side it comes now for Dahl. Gabe lobs it cross court for Voigt. Mike looked at the three, didn't take it, now dribbles through the arc and back up on top. Lobs it down low, Sparby. Kip came open and put the left-hander up and in. Good feed from Voigt. Sparby has 18 points on the night. 48-33. ROCORI's back up by 15 with a minute and a half remaining in the third quarter. Nodlin between the circles, driving on Dahl. Bounce pass left side, caught by Helscher outside the arc. To the baseline, cut up there by Carlson, brings it back up on top for George. George, one dribble, runner off the glass from 10 is good. Blair George with the hard bank off the glass on the run has 14 points. 48-35, ROCORI by 13. Down to a minute 10 remaining to play here in the third quarter. Sparby dribbling up on top on the left side. Picked up his dribble and hands it off for Mike Boyd, who in turn gives it right back to Sparby. Now further out to Dahl, right side Carlson looks at the three, it won't go, but there was a foul before that on Carlson, I think, who pushed off to get open. Oh, wait a minute, they're going to say he traveled. I apologize. I thought there was a foul call, but they're just going to say that Mike Carlson traveled before he took the shot. Alexandria back the other way now on the left side, Krauser. Up on top for Nodlin. Nodlin cuts it in on the dribble, now picked it up and backed out. On the right side is George, and he's fouled on the drive by Hondel. Dan Hondel reached in. That's his second. Third and a half on ROCORI. Both teams now with 3 fouls in the half, which is much better than the first half. 40 seconds remaining, third quarter. Alexandria and the lob in, the ball skipped away by Voigt. It went to Carlson. He tried to feed it ahead for Voigt, but it was picked off by Nodlin. Back the other way come the Cardinals. Nodlin penetrates. Kick out for George. He looked at the three, put it on the floor, and traveled. Faked the three, shuffled his feet as he put it to the wood. He's looking at his coach for some solace, but he traveled twice. He moved his pivot foot twice before he even put the ball on the floor. ROCORI will inbound in the backcourt with a half a minute remaining here in the third quarter, leading by 13. Spartans will probably go for one shot here. Sparby in the backcourt, comes across with 24 on the clock, dribbles to the arc and stops there and leaves it back up on top for Gabe Dahl. Now Sparby way away from the basket, almost standing on the Cardinal on the far side of the floor. Now Dahl lobs it to Sparby. Down to 10 seconds on the clock. Sparby in the corner for Voigt. Three, good. Mike Voigt with the triple has 13. Alexandria inbounds in the backcourt with 2 seconds. Nodlin, a 45-footer at the buzzer, won't. Back to the action here as we start the fourth quarter. A long three by Ryan Nodlin is no good. The long rebound came to the Cardinals. Now Helscher misses a three, but the Cardinals got it back, feed it down low to Krauser, who banked it in. Aaron Krauser's first 2 points of the ball game. 51-37, the Spartans by 14 with 7.5 minutes remaining in the ball game. Sparby on the left side for Voigt. Voigt is bumped, and a whistle and a foul on Krauser, and that is 4 on him. Krauser's fourth. Wegner also has 4. 4th and a half on Alexandria. Inbound coming for ROCORI. We have a score in from the Apollo Gym. In the fourth quarter, it is Tech 68 Apollo 27. Tech leads it by 41. Up on top with it is Boyd. Now he stops. 13-footer on the run is good. Nice soft touch by Mike Boyd. He has 15 points. 53-37. Spartans by 16. We're down to 7:10 to play in the ball game here at Alexandria. ROCORI basketball coming your way on Oldies 94.9. I'm Emmett Keenan with you from Alexandria. Now the Cardinals to the forecourt. George had the ball tipped away from behind by Boyd and then lost it out of bounds. Last touch by Sparby. So the ball will stay with Alexandria as Paul Wegner will check back into the ball game, and he'll replace John Weber. Inbound from the baseline, Ryan Nodlin will trigger it for the Cardinals. Gets it in the corner to Wegner. Now to George, up on top for Helscher. On the right side it goes for Nodlin. Up on top with it. Now back on the right side, Nodlin. Cross court for Helscher. Three didn't take it. Now to Nodlin. He didn't take the three either. George up on top. Here's the kick out for Nodlin. His three is short off the iron. Krauser got the rebound. Putback is good. Aaron Krauser has all 4 Alexandria points here in the fourth quarter. His only points of the ball game. 53-39, ROCORI by 14. Sparby feeds it on the left wing for Hondel. Danny outside the arc, across for Sparby. His three is good. Kip Sparby nails the triple. His third three of the ball game. He has 21 points on the night. 56-39, ROCORI by 17. Up on top with it, bounce pass right side, now caught by George. In the corner for Krauser. Up on top for Helscher. His three is good. Nathan Helscher hits the three, and Alexandria takes a timeout. 6:03 remaining in the ball game. 56-42 ROCORI. We're back after this on Oldies 94.9. Now Helscher hit the three to give him 5 points in the ball game. Alexandria took a timeout, and now the Spartans inbound in the backcourt, leading by 14. Ahead to the forecourt where Sparby is triple teamed. Dribbles it up on top between the circles. Now clears himself out again and lobs it down low for Dahl. Gabe banks it in, and he was fouled. One coming, and Aaron Krauser has fouled out of the ballgame. A beautiful look by Kip Sparby. Sparby has 21 points in the ballgame. He's got to have 6 rebounds. He's got to have a half a dozen assists and a couple steals. Dahl with 5 points now will be at the line to try to complete the three-point play, and Aaron Krauser has just fouled out with 5:46 remaining in the ballgame. So Krauser leaves with 4 points. He was on the bench early with 3 fouls in the first half. Scored his only 4 points here in the fourth quarter. 58-42. Gabe Dahl's free throw is up and good. So Dahl completes the three-point play. Gabe has 6 points, and the Spartans have their biggest lead now. They lead it by 17 at 59-42. On the right side, in the corner now, Nodlin. Up on top for Weber. Left side, Helscher. Down in the corner for George. Feeds it to Nodlin, cutting through. He took it to the glass, missed the layup short, and then Boyd went over the back and fouled on the rebound. He went over Paul Wegner's back, and the foul will go against Boyd, his third. 4th and a half on ROCORI. We're down to 5.5 minutes to play, and the Spartans are, for now, in command, leading at 59-42. But Alexandria's had a couple of quick runs in this ball game. They've showed the opportunity to get in. Now the ball comes down low to Wegner. His layup rolls off, hung on the rim, got his own rebound, put it up in the end. Paul Wegner has 7 points. 15-point Spartan lead. Gabe Dahl has it in the backcourt for ROCORI. Dahl, crossover dribble, comes to the forecourt, stops it there, feeds it on the right wing now for Boyd. Mike Boyd cutting it down the lane on the run. Finger roll is good, and we have a whistle, and they'll count the basket. There was going to be a goaltending call on Alexandria because they were in the cylinder if the shot hadn't gone. So Boyd now has 17 points. Nice little finger roll cutting down the lane, and the Spartans are back up by 17. Into the forecourt, it comes to Wegner on the left side. He leaves it up on top for Helscher. His bounce pass tipped away by Carlson. Mike came away with it, but they're going to call Mike Boyd for the foul from behind. It's going to go against Mike Boyd, I believe. It is on Boyd. That is his 4th. 5.5 on ROCORI. 4:48 remaining in the ballgame. Spartans lead it by 17, and I think Dan Hondel is going to check in now for Mike Boyd, who will sit down with 4 persons.
Dan Hondel checks in.
Mike with a good ball game. He has 17 points, and again, I'm going to guess he has at least 5 assists. He's done a good job of finding other guys down low as well. Up on top, Blair George between the circles, feeds it on the right side for Nodlin, way out away from the basket. Now to Helsher, back up on top. Back to Nodlin on the wing. Gabe Dahl quickly out on him to keep him away from the 3. Helsher, back to Nodlin. Gabe doing a good job of running on the exterior of the zone. Now down low it goes to George, drives to the baseline, back the other way, missed the layup. Rebound to Wagner. His shot was blocked, but he was fouled, I believe, by Eric Boucher. See who it goes against. The foul is on Eric Boucher. ROCORI will take a timeout. 4:25. Hello. All right. Back to the action here on Oldies. Paul Wagner hit the first free throw, missed the second. Spartans back in the forecourt now with 4:05 remaining in the ballgame, leading by 16 at 61-45. Gabe Dahl with it up on top, drives it left side, leaves it for Sparby. He kicks it down low to the baseline for Carlson. His shot was short. Hondo got the rebound, foot back good, and one coming. Dan Hondo with the offensive board, put it up and in, and he was fouled. Danny has 6 points. He'll be at the line to try to make it 7. The foul will go against Weber. That's his first. 5th and a half, make that the 6th and a half on the Cardinals. 3:54 remaining in the ballgame. 63-45 Spartans. We have a final in from Apollo. An unbelievable score. Tech 71, Apollo 30 in the Central Lakes Conference opener for those two St. Cloud schools. An incredible score. The Tigers win it over the Eagles by 41. Feeding it on the left side now. In the corner with it is Collins. Lobs it up on top. In the right corner for Nodlin. Nodlin starts it in on the dribble through traffic, and he banked it in. Ryan Nodlin has had a nice second half, and Alexandria will take a timeout. 3:37 remaining. 64-47 Spartans. We're back after this. Into the forecourt now, the Spartans off the timeout by Alexandria. The Cardinals are down to 1 timeout remaining, and the Spartans will go into the weave here with 3:15 remaining, and the Spartans leading by 17. Sparby picked up his dribble, double teamed up on top, lobs it cross court for Gabe Dahl. Dahl's double team, bounces it to Sparby. Kip through traffic, lobs it in the corner for Carlson. Mike looked at the 3, didn't take it. Brings it back up on top for Kip. Kip down low for Hondo. Move on the block, and he banked it in. Danny Hondo has 9 points, 5 of them here in the fourth quarter. Under 3 minutes to play, 66-47 Spartans. Now George to the baseline. Runner from 5 over Sparby is good. Blair George has 16 points for Alexandria to lead the Cardinals. Spartans in the backcourt with 2:40 remaining, leading by 17. Sparby lobs it right side, Carlson. And ROCORI will take a timeout. 2:35 remaining. 66-49 Spartans. We're back in Alexandria in just a moment on Old. Back to the action here on Oldies 94.9. Both teams now with 1 timeout remaining as the Spartans inbound in the forecourt with 2.5 minutes left, leading by 17. Here's a feed in the lane by Sparby to Hondo. Dan missed the shot, and then the foul goes against Boucher on the rebound, and that is 5 on Eric. So Eric Boucher struggling a little bit tonight. Fouls out with 2 points with 2:28 remaining in the ballgame. Aaron Krauser has already fouled out of the ballgame for Alexandria. Nate Willenbring will check into the ballgame for ROCORI, replacing Eric, and will walk to the other end at the line to shoot 1-1. Is Paul Wagner. Wagner with 8 points in the ballgame. Spartans again play at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon against New London Spicer in the Metrodome. We will not broadcast that game. The free throw is missed. Our next broadcast is Tuesday night, the game at home against Apollo. Sparby in the backcourt against all kinds of pressure. Lobs it way ahead for Hondel. Rebad the feed to Willenbring, and he missed the shot. Great feed from Hondel to the trailer, Nate Willenbring rather. Danny Hondel went back up for the rebound and was fouled from behind. Foul on Collins. That's the 7th team foul, so Dan will be at the line to shoot free throws. Dan with 5 points here in the 4th quarter already, 9 in the ball game. He started in the ball game for the Spartans. That free throw is no good, and the rebound is cleared away by George. Down to 2:10 remaining. A feet ahead, all alone is Helsher, and he lays it up and in. And Alexandria will use their final timeout. 2:09 remaining. 66-51 ROCORI, and we're coming right back on Oldies 94.9.
Watch it and enjoy it. Tuesday night against Gymnasium here against
Spartans inbound in the backcourt against pressure, and a foul is called as the ball came into Nate Willenbring. He was fouled by Paul Wegner, and that'll be 5 on him. So Wegner is going to foul out with 8 points with 2:08 remaining in the ball game, and we'll walk to the other end where Nate Willenbring will go to the free throw line. Prep basketball coming your way tonight here on Oldies 94.9, KMXK, Cold Spring, St. Cloud, Mid-Minnesota's Oldies station. It's a twin spin weekend, and we'll get back to the music right after the ball game. Our producer tonight is Mike Dime. Emmett Keenan with you from Alexandria. 2:08 remaining in the ball game, and the Spartans lead it by a score of 66-51 in the Central Lakes Conference Open. Alexandria jumped out to a 6-0 lead in this ball game, but then the Spartans went on a 12-2 run. Willenbring misses a free throw. The rebound is cleared by Sparby. His shot won't go, and then it's tied up on the rebound, and the ball will stay with the Spartans. ROCORI went up 12-8 with that 12-2 run. We were tied at 15 at the end of the first quarter, but the Spartans, with a nice second quarter, led it 34-24 at the half and haven't looked back since. Now we have a whistle before the inbound as Simon Lee was holding down low. That'll be his second personal, and Nate Willenbring will be back at the free throw line. Nate is 0 for 2 from the line. Spartans on the night are, do a little quick math here for you, 10 of 18. Free throw by Willenbring. This one is also short. Battle for the rebound, and Lee couldn't control it. He lost it out of bounds. He battled with Hondel, and then it went off his fingertips out of bounds. So the ball goes over to the Spartans with 2:01 remaining, and the Spartans appear to be in command, up by 15, 66-51. Well, you never want to say never, no. It's a very, very tough Alexandria team. Struggling pretty hard. They're a little bit overmatched from a talent standpoint, but they never give up. Hondel to Sparby on the left side, in the corner for Dahl, back up to Sparby, under 2 minutes to play. Kip dribbling up on top, bounce pass left side, Carlson. Michael dribble it back up on top, and he's fouled from behind by Nodland. Not sure I understand that, following down by 15 with only 1:44 remaining. Well, Mike Carlson will go to the free throw line now, and Joel Torborg will check into the ball game for the first time for ROCORI, and he'll replace Nate Willenbring. Torborg, a 5'10" senior. And at the line to shoot will be Mike Carlson. Mike with 11 points in the ball game, 6 of them in the third quarter. He had a nice third quarter when the Spartans widened out their lead. Free throw is up and good. He has a dozen, and he'll get one more. 1:44 remaining. The Spartans should win this one and move to 2-0 on the season, 1-0 in the Central Lakes Conference. They'll be tied for first place early on here with Sartell, who won last night over Brainerd, 67-65. Second free throw by Carlson is also good. By Tech, who beat Apollo tonight, 71-30, and presumably with Wilmer, because they led the Little Falls Flyers by 14 starting the fourth quarter. Driving down the left side now is Helsher. His shot won't go, but the rebound was tipped back out to him, missed another one, and here back come the Spartans. Here comes Sparby to the forecourt with 1:25 remaining. Dribbling up on top, lobs it for Dahl. Right side for Carlson. He's double teamed, and then he's fouled on the double team, I believe, by George. Blair George with his first personal of the ball game. And Mike Carlson will be back to the free throw line, as Eric Schmitz will check into the ball game for the first time for the Spartans, a 6-foot sophomore. He'll replace Dan Hondel. Danny leaves the ball game with 9 points on the night, including 5 in the fourth quarter. Carlson, who has 13, will be at the line to shoot 2 as we're into the super bonus now, the 10th foul of the half on Alexandria. Free throw is up and good. So Carlson is 6 of 7 from the free throw line and has 14 points on the night for the Spartans. Second free throw is up and also good. Stand by. After the ball game, we'll have our Domino's Pizza post-game show. We'll name our Domino's Pizza player of the game. Away from the ball as Sean Salner was holding on to Mike Carlson.